All the houses that are built there, whether they have due approval to have built the houses in those places. All those who are on admission here will be treated at the expense of the government. So we're taking full responsibility for their treatment. And very soon there'll be a commission of inquiry set up to investigate this matter and to see how this can be avoided in the future.
One of the survivors who confirmed the death of all his friends who were there with him thanked God for sparing his life.
We watched the game for about 38 minutes. Also when we just heard a spark from the high tension cable and the thing dropped directly on the zinc. Most of us that were there, virtually everybody that was sitting around me, those ones are all dead. That's why I said I cheated dead, because God has a reason for keeping me, because I've not fulfilled my destiny.
While many eagerly await the outcome of the promised investigation into this tragic incident, steps should be taken by the residents as well as the government to ensure that this does not recur.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari says he's shocked and saddened by the death of several football fans last night at a viewing centre in Calabar. The fans were watching a Europa League match between Manchester United and Anderlecht when a live electric cable fell onto the building. In a statement, President Buhari offers his deepest condolences to the family and friends of the victims, whose sudden death is a big blow not only to their families but also to the football-loving nation. End of quote. The President also commended the Cross River State authorities for setting up a commission of inquiry to look into the incident. And we have a reaction from Manchester United. Well, they've offered their condolences to the fans, friends and families affected by the accident in Calabar. An eyewitness to Channels Television, he managed to get away from the scene after noticing a spark on a nearby transformer. Reports say about 80 people were in the building at the time of the incident. Well, to discuss this unfortunate incident and safety as far as power distribution is concerned, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by a power safety expert, Engineer Jamiu Badmos. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10.
It's my pleasure, ma.
Well, our hearts go out to the families. Some of them might be watching us tonight, so we have to be careful as we speak, even though we do have to talk about it. But I'd like to start from the building itself. It's been established bad location, seeing as the high tension wire was there, but what about the structure? I mean, you've seen the pictures.
Now, from the way the building is constructed, you see, apart from being under the high tension wire, where there is in the NESIS regulation 2015 that you must have 5.5 meter distance, the building itself is made from iron, iron roofing sheet, and of course, it has only one exit and entry point. Only one place for you to enter, that same place for you to leave. And then normally a building of such, a situation is supposed to have at least 2 or more entry and exit. And but if you look at it very well, that structure will have added to people, causing stampede, because normally they have to close the door when they start watching the football. Yeah. So those who don't pay will not, come in. And by the time they add that explosion, everybody will start trying to go to the door. And in such case, they will rush, and when they rush, they will stampede.
But what happened, tell us about the roofing sheet and what role that played with those who are actually able to exit, those who were not affected in the stampede.
Now, if a wire snap, a wire cut that way, and it's live, and it gets to roofing sheet which can conduct, which means all the structures have been electrified. And people rushing, anybody touching any part of the structure will receive electric shock. And again, they get to the door to exit, and they will rush, and everybody will be thinking I have to move first. Some will get electrified and receive electric shock. While they fall down, others will join that person, because electricity is such that if I touch and it moves through me, and you touch me too, you still have the same, it enters you too. And that is why you see people falling down, falling on themselves.
Just to put the minds of those who are in that area at rest, you said that it was the whole area, that side got electrified and all that. Is it safe now?
Yeah, it will be safe, because the moment you have such thing, the electricity company, distribution company, the next thing they will do is to isolate that feeder. and that makes all that area, they do not have anything like electrification anything again, because it will take up their supply.
Let's talk about the electricity distribution company in charge of that area. I mean, obviously you know what sort of damage this type of thing has caused. What should they have done?
The company, as far as I know, from records that we have, they really tried their best in putting some bad network structures in place. I can tell you authoritatively that they have resolved over 54 network results for all their installations. You know, the power company came from the NEPAs, the PHCN of those days, and they have a lot of infrastructural decadence, and all these distribution companies, they started trying to rectify some of these problems. In short, this incident it pained most of us in this power safety sector that look, if as of today, January to March, all the past distribution companies altogether, they've resolved over 1,640 network issues that are bad. And this Port Harcourt has done like 57 or so. And now, you have an accident, of course, maybe due to some other factors that could cause that accident. I know the company they will have done a lot of things vis-a-vis community awareness, talk to people that look, don't stay under high tension. And as a matter of fact, people may not even bother to listen to them.
When people are told not to stay under, I mean, if their buildings are there already and they're asked to move just like that, who takes care of them? What happens? What is actually the role of these companies beyond just carrying on and distributing power?
The truth of the matter is this: their power is very limited. As a distribution company, you distribute, and somebody comes to your right of way. In the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission Standard, Health and Safety Code, and the NESIS 2015 regulation, is very clear that 5.5 meters you have. But NEC, that even regulates the industry, with NEMSA, that also supporting regulation, they don't have power to tell the people to leave. They can't demolish. Demolition of those properties and structures that are illegal is under the purview of the government. The state government should take actions, should take some proactive actions so that we don't take reactive actions.
Okay.
They have to be proactive.
You're in the industry, obviously. You've seen that there's a committee that's going to be set up. I mean, even though we don't like to hear committees because sometimes it takes a very long time before we have any outcome. What's the first thing that you would recommend if you were a member of that committee? In
short, the first thing I would tell the committee is basically, fundamentally based on the law of this country, power sector is highly regulated. As I speak to you right now, in that place, some of our colleagues are there, those who are passionate about safety. As I speak to you right now, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, there is a standard. When this thing happened, the Health and Safety Department of that company, PHEDC, would send to NEC that this has happened 1 day, 24 hours. If they fail, they are in trouble. And within 3 days, they will have preliminary reports of this incident. I know that is being done. I will advise the committee to allow technical expert people to investigate and then look at the recommendations and work on it. It is better that way because power industry, you will just be saying some things from your own thinking that what you are saying is right, but it's not in line with technical safety requirements.
All right.